now I have one more person to thank. Every new undertaking needs an angel. And GSCA has its own angel for this event. Many of you know her. She's been involved in the filmmaking industry for many years. I think she started when she was 10 or 12, actually. But she's been involved in a long time. Was president of Cinema Ventures at National Geographic for a number of years. She's currently the president of her own firm, Think Creative, in Washington, D.C. And as she comes to the stage, I'd like you to join me in thanking Lisa Truitt for all her efforts in putting this together.
I'm not sure I've been called an angel terribly many times in my life, so thank you, wherever you are. Anyway, welcome. Thanks to everyone for joining us and launching onto this new endeavor with us. I think it's safe to say all of us here, in one way or another, have a real passion for the giant screen and for this gorgeous giant palette that we can paint these stories on. And some of us know that 20 years ago, financially, that was almost a no-brainer to do that kind of thing and be able to justify it financially. Since that time, the media landscape has changed just a wee bit, and we're no exception to that. And we have to constantly think about that and make room for change. So knowing that in 2013, the Giant Screen Board had a strategic retreat to think about how we as an organization could really help keep this industry vibrant and fresh and relevant. And we came away with a number of strategic commitments. And among those were to reach new audiences, forge new connections, forge deeper understanding across the existing sectors of our industry. As Gordon said, if one piece of the industry falls apart, all the rest of us go down with it. So this symposium grew out of some of those goals as a first step to try to make these new initiatives and make the organization more relevant, more helpful to the constituency. And my hope is that, as so often happens out of tough circumstances, out of those times can come great creativity and innovation and solutions. And I really hope that this symposium becomes a place where some of those seeds get planted. So you will, as you've heard, obviously over the next 2 days, you're going to be introduced to all the tools of the trade, and not really just introduced, but we're going to do a deep dive into all the tools of the trade, from financing to storytelling to technology, to everything else. And, but I think another really important part of these 2 days is the connections that we can all make. And so I'm going to revert a little bit to a school technique, because I think it'll really help our panelists to know who's in the room. So can anyone who is either here for a first-time GSCA event or hasn't been for a number of years stand up, just so we can get a sense of who's here? Wow, that's awesome. Thank you. Okay, so for those of you who didn't stand, all those people who did stand, they're your source of your next projects and your next ideas or your next business partners, and vice versa. So just make a point to meet each other and ask a lot of questions, because I think that's as important as everything else we're going to do here today. Also, please give us your feedback. You know this is a first-time event where the board's actively talking about whether to do it again, where, how, when, what we could do better, how it could be different, what we'd offer next time. So talk to any of us that you've heard up here. Give us ideas. We're big kids. We can take criticism. We can take compliments too. So just help us make it better. After the event, GSCA isn't just a couple of events. It goes on year-round. So again, for folks who are new, stay engaged with us and let us help you make your dreams come true and figure out your pathway through this industry. You may have Gordon may have called me an angel, but I have a lot of angels who helped put this together because it took a lot of volunteer work. It was sort of like taking on, we always do 2 conferences a year. Suddenly we were taking on really a third. So could everyone on the task force, from Symposium Task Force stand up, please? Because you guys were amazing. Come on, there's a lot of you here. Thank you, really. I'm so grateful for all you did. It was a lot of work to pull this together because it was a first-time event. And Tammy and Kelly, too. Tammy was my co-chair of this event and put in endless hours in addition to everything else she does, so thanks to you guys, too. Okay, now we get to move along. So I get to introduce my good friend and great business colleague, Paul Frazier, who's the president of Blaze Digital Cinema Works, and he does consulting on projects. He has a consulting and projects, I can't read my own notes, Paul. Consulting firm helping clients in any form of digital cinema pull projects together in all functions from production to distribution to exhibition. And he's really great. I highly recommend him. And Paul's going to walk us through some really cool data.